Nothing is wrong with me, you all. I am perfectly fine. I can handle my own affairs. Nothing is wrong with me.
I see you're doing so well so far. You're almost going to jail on a traffic offense.
I don't
Thank you,
need a public defender, Judge Washington.
Ma'am, I asked you a simple question and you did not answer the question in a way that makes me feel comfortable that you don't understand that you understand the laws of this state. Mr. Lebo.
Right, y'all just hate to hear the truth. Y'all just want to do what y'all want to do.
Ma'am, if you don't stop yelling out in court, you've already been held in contempt before. I'm going to hold you in contempt and give you 10 days in jail. Do you understand?
This sounds like it might be a sovereign citizen type of situation. I don't know if the individual that is seated here is in fact the defendant, or if he is a completely separate person, separate and apart from the defendant that was pulled over at the time this incident took place.
Right, the court will call the matter of the Township of Ypsilanti versus Shannon Phillips, 24W001656.
Paul Barnett on behalf of the township.
Assistant Public Defender Davi Lebo on behalf of Ms. Phillips. Your Honor, when I did speak to Ms. Phillips yesterday, she advised me that she did not want to be represented by the Public Defender's Office. Ms. Phillips, could you say your name, ma'am?
Ms. Phillips, please state your name.
Yes. Shannon Phillips, the natural woman. On the record and for the record, and let the record reflect. Can you guys hear me? It's saying I have an unstable connection. Okay. Just making sure.
On October 9th, defendant was found in contempt of court. So that still stands, ma'am. You can choose not to have counsel if you want, but you need to understand that you can get up to 90 days on the contempt of court matter. Do you understand that?
I do not understand any charges. I only understand universal law and the right to live in peace and to live as I intend to.
But given that she doesn't understand,
was never let in, just like now. But I obviously, I guess it took a minute. You administering the trust without consent?
I'm not going to be.
I'm having a bad connection. It's going in and out. I'm not hearing nothing you all are saying.
Public Defender's Office from this case because I don't think she fully understands the consequences of her actions, and so she will continue to have the public defender.
I don't need a public defender, Judge Washington.
Ma'am, I asked you a simple question and you did not answer the question in a way that makes me feel comfortable that you don't understand that you understand the laws of the state.
You all are speaking legalese. You all are speaking legalese. For me to say I understand the charges gives you all permission to administer the trust.
Okay.
I don't understand the charges.
Which is why you will not.
And I do not need counsel. I don't need representation.
Your request is denied, ma'am. You will have representation. All right. Mr. Lebo, do you know what your client wants to do?
Oh my goodness. This is
the charges.
You cannot make me have an attorney.
Well, actually I can, ma'am.
Like, this is insane.
Well, I don't think it's me that's being insane.
I can handle my own affairs. I don't need your public defender. All I'm trying to do is get the case settled. That's all. This has been going on for so long. A waste of time and money, honestly.
Mr. Barnett, is there an offer?
There is an offer for the civil infraction and expired plate.
Your Honor, I'd be happy to go into a break-in with Ms. Phillips and explain that to her.
I will let you do that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Traffic infractions are not a crime.
What will we call the matter of Ypsilanti Township versus Shannon Phillips, case number 24W001656.
Paul Barnett on behalf of the township.
Assistant Public Defender Davi Liebe on behalf of Ms. Phillips. Ms. Phillips, could you unmute and state your name, ma'am?
You have to unmute, ma'am.
Shannon Phillips, the natural woman.
Liebe, where are we with this, please?
Your Honor, I did have a discussion with Ms. Phillips. I did attempt to explain the importance of representation, why the court has asked that she have an attorney in this matter, as well as conveyed Mr. Barnett's offer. Ms. Phillips indicated to me that she still opposes having an attorney. Additionally, indicated to me that she is not, at this time, wanting to accept the offer of an expired plate.
Well, I think the offer was for a civil infraction of something different.
I believe was the civil plate infraction.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
It's improper plate.
What was the offer again, Mr. Barnett?
It was the civil infraction of having an expired plate.
All right, thank you. And not the criminal, not
Correct.
the criminal infraction. Okay. So, Ms. Phillips, that's correct. You're rejecting that offer.
The offer of what? He didn't offer anything.
Ms. Phillips, he just told you that he's offering.
Am I not hearing something?
He just told you that he's offering you the civil infraction of expired plate as opposed to the criminal offense of expired plate. One carries
okay, but according to the Supreme Court, traffic infractions are not a crime. The People versus Battle. So what criminal infraction? And I would just like for the case to be dismissed. One, because your who was it, Officer Hannah, and 3 more officers were surrounding my vehicle, pulling my door handles, threatening to pull me out of my vehicle.
Ms. Phillips, I'm going to advise.
I don't even have the vehicle anymore.
Ms. Phillips, I'll take that as a rejection of the offer.
Okay, so what's the offer? I didn't tell him anything.
Mr. Lebo.
Right, y'all just hate to hear the truth. Y'all just want to do what y'all want to do.
Ma'am, if you don't stop yelling out in court, you've already been held in contempt before. I'm going to hold you in contempt and give you 10 days in jail. Do you understand? Mr. Lebo, do you know what your client would want to do?
I do not, Your Honor. I did have a discussion with her, but she did not convey to me a desire to participate in that conversation.
All right. Then if she's not telling you, I will set it for a trial date.
Ms. Phillips, Your Honor, I would perhaps ask the court to consider a competency referral.
Nothing is wrong with me, you all. I am perfectly fine. I can handle my own affairs. Nothing is wrong with me.
I see you're doing so well so far. You're almost going to jail on a traffic offense.
And I do want to know that I did attempt to explain to Ms. Phillips why her understanding of the case law regarding traffic offenses was inaccurate, but that was not a productive conversation.
I could see why it wasn't productive. So I don't know that she meets the level of incompetence to the standard that you're indicating, that if you want a referral because you've talked to her and that's where you are, I will refer her for a competency. If she doesn't participate in that, then she'll be found in contempt or have to go to jail to get it done. So her behavior here today is...
Behavioral economists call this escalation of commitment. The more someone publicly defends a position, the harder it becomes to reverse course, even when the risks get worse. Here, the sovereign citizen arguments may feel emotionally empowering to the defendant, but every refusal to engage with the court process increases the chance that a traffic case turns into a custody and contempt problem instead.
She taking her down a very dark path. Hopefully, she can change her mind and do something appropriate. So you either want to have a trial, ma'am, or you want to actually accept an offer. So those are your options.
We could take it to trial. We could take it to trial. We could take it to trial. We could take it to trial.
I heard you when you said it the second time.
Okay, well my screen is saying bad connection, so I'm not sure.
Your Honor, perhaps we could adjourn this pretrial and set trial, and I couldn't attempt to discuss with Ms. Phelps a little bit further in the interim time.
All right, because if she goes to trial and she's unsuccessful, it would be treated like any other criminal matter. So, ma'am, you do understand that you could get up to 90 days in the Washington County Jail, correct?
I hear you.
Retrial will be adjourned to January 8th, 2025 at 10 o'clock a.m. I'm sorry, 9 a.m. Do you have her contact information so you can talk to her so she fully gets what's going on here?
I do, Your Honor, and I would just ask the court if the court could repeat the pretrial date.
I'm sorry, repeat it. January 8th at 9
Thank you, Your Honor.
a.m. Ms. Phillips, we'll see you back here on that date, ma'am.
Now calling case number 24W001656. This is the Township of Ypsilanti versus Shannon Phillips.
Hi,
Hi, can you state your name for the record, please?
Shannon Phillips.
Okay, thank you very much. So today is the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. What I have here is a citation from May 27th of 2024 that charges that on or about that date you did operate a motor vehicle on E-Course Road at or near Harris Road with improper plates. It says that the plate did not come back to the vehicle that it was on. That is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of up to 90 days in jail, a $500 fine with court costs, or both. Do you understand all that?
No, I do not understand.
Okay. So let me clarify. When I ask if you understand, what I want to know is, do you know now what you are being charged with, whether or not you agree with it?
No, I do not agree with it. And I filed paperwork to the court
Yes.
expressing that.
Okay, and I'm cutting you off for a second because I'm not asking if you agree with it. I'm just asking. I have explained that you're being charged with having improper plates. Do you understand that that is what you are being charged with? Again, I'm not asking if you agree with it. I just want to make sure, because the purpose of this hearing is to determine whether or not you are competent to stand trial. That's part of it, at least. Do you know what you are being charged with now?
Yeah, I see it on the paper.
You do have the right to remain silent because anything that you say out loud or in writing can be used against you in court. You have the right to be presumed innocent beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to a trial by judge or by jury. You have the right to be represented by an attorney during all stages of these court proceedings. You do not have to disclose citizenship status to the court, but you do have the right to consult with an attorney to see if these proceedings would have any effect on your citizenship status. If that does not apply to you, then do not worry about it. So, do you wish to have the public defender speak on your behalf?
No.
Okay. In regards to the misdemeanor charge against you, how are you pleading at this time? Or are you standing mute?
Standing mute.
Okay. I am going to set this for a
Ma'am,
yes.
this has been long and drawn out since May. I don't even have that vehicle anymore. Unfortunately, I've had to buy 2 vehicles since that vehicle. Not to mention how aggressive and threatening your officers was when they approached my vehicle. Not to mention they were pulling on my door, yelling and screaming for me to get out, or they were going to pull me out. I do have that video on my phone. However, because my laptop is not working, I have to use my phone.
Okay. Before you continue, couple of things. One, I will note that the officers are not court employees, so they are not the court's officers. What I am going to do, because it is the next step in this process, is set you for a pretrial. Okay, the purpose of the hearing today is to make sure that you know what you're being charged with and what the potential penalties are. The next step is a pretrial, which is where you will get to discuss with the judge more of what happened that day, and if you have evidence, then you can bring it up then. Your pretrial is being scheduled for November 27th.
Just a waste of time. 11/27.
Correct. This year, so that's 11/27,
Mhm.
2024. That will be at 9 in the morning over Zoom before Judge Washington. Because of your appearance here today, I am recalling the bench warrant that issued for your arrest on October 9th. That bench warrant had issued because of failure to appear for a number of arraignment dates that were set.
But
So
I was there and I have proof of that as well. I was on the hearing. It did the same thing it was doing now, saying that the host was there and would let me in. But I sat there for over like 2 hours on the 9th and the 10th and wasn't let inside the Zoom on either day. I do have screenshots of that, so I'll present that as well
okay.
at the next hearing.
Okay. So to be clear, the bench warrant is being recalled, so that is going away.
Thank you.
The court is setting a personal recognizance bond, so basically you're promising to appear for the next court date. Again, that's November 27th. I will note that sometimes, depending on the size of the docket, it can take a long time. And I think what was my arraignment docket last Wednesday took 3.5 hours. So it can take a long time. So long as you're seeing the message that the Zoom is still going on and that the host knows you're there and can let you in, then as much as it is not a whole lot of fun, you should wait.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you have any questions right now?
Not at the moment. I don't believe so, no.
Okay, thank you. So, your next court date again, November 27th, 2024, 9 in the morning over Zoom before Judge Washington.
Okay.
Or you can come forward, sir. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Are you Sherman Moore?
I am not.
You're not. Okay. And so are you appearing on Mr. Moore's behalf?
Yes.
Okay,
I am, yes, here for that matter to handle the matter that's at hand.
okay. And are you an attorney, sir?
I am the attorney, in fact, for the said name at hand here.
Okay, so you are an attorney representing Sherman Moore?
Yes, I will be handling the case for Mr. Moore.
Okay. And are you licensed by the state of Washington to practice as an attorney?
I am not licensed or a bar member or a lawyer or anything of the such, but I am here as a beneficiary executive for the said name.
Okay, before I respond, let me see if the city takes any position. Mr. Gunderson, is the city taking any position on the representation of Mr. Moore in this matter? I don't even know if you're appearing on behalf of the city in this matter.
Good morning, Your Honor. Will Gunderson, prosecuting for the city. Your Honor, the city does typically appear for the contested hearings in which officers have been subpoenaed.
Was an officer subpoenaed in this matter?
Yes. Your Honor, the officer is present. Officer Berglund is here. Your Honor, my position at this point is to request a short continuance in this case. The basis being I rely on the Judicial Information System, or JABS, review that information relevant to the particular case. Within the last 20 minutes, JABS database has gone down. Oh.
And
Do that now.
do you take a position on the representative of Mr. Moore appearing in his stead this morning for purposes of the hearing?
Your Honor, ultimately, the city would defer to the court on whether or not the individual is present is allowed to act on behalf of the defendant. To cut to the chase, Your Honor, this sounds like it might be a sovereign citizen type of situation. I don't know if the individual that is seated here is in fact the defendant, or if he is a completely separate person, separate and apart from the defendant that was pulled over at the time this incident took place. So that is a red flag, so to speak, or a question mark that does get raised in the city's mind, for which the city does believe that a further inquiry by the court may be appropriate. But ultimately, Your Honor, with regards to any representation, city will defer to the court.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gunderson. So, sir, I'm going to ask you to identify yourself for the record, please.
I am one of the people.
I'm sorry?
One of the people.
Okay. Are you or have you been previously named or identified by the state of Washington as Sherman Moore?
I am not Sherman Moore,
Okay.
the entity in which you speak of.
Okay. And do you have any relationship to Sherman Moore?
I am just the beneficiary of that name.
Okay. Well, the problem that we have here is that at this point, based upon the record that I have before me, sir, you are not authorized to represent Mr. Moore as an attorney in this matter because you are not a licensed attorney by the state of Washington. And at this point in time, based on the record, Mr. Moore has not appeared in.
Oh, he's right here, sir. Sherman Moore is right here. The name in which you speak, he is right here, sir.
Well, that, for the record, you're holding up a piece of paper.
Yes, the document, Sherman Moore, the entity in which you speak of, and one in which you tend, or this court intends to charge. So I am just a beneficiary of said entity. That is all. And that's why I'm here. So basically, I'm trying to find out the nature of said charges that pertain to said name.
Sure, certainly.
Is this a criminal or a civil matter is what I'm trying to figure out here, sir.
This is a civil matter. So Sherman Moore, or an individual identified as Sherman Moore, was issued an infraction here in the city of Lakewood on September 5th, 2024, and was ordered to respond to the issuance of that infraction, which it appears that he did, and requested a contested hearing in which he is asking to challenge the evidentiary sufficiency of the information relied upon by the issuing officer who issued the infractions or the issuance of those infractions. But by requesting that hearing, Mr. Moore, or the individual who was issued the infraction named Sherman Moore, indicated that he would appear in person as a living person here in court. And the problem that I have at this point in time is that based upon the record that I have before the court, Mr. Moore has not appeared as a living, breathing human being in this court in response to his request for a hearing.
I am simply just a man on the land that is here on behalf of that name as the beneficiary for that name.
I understand that. But at this point,
There's a claim being made. So therefore, like I said, I'm just here to understand the nature. You say it's a civil, so where is the verified complainant for said charges?
the verified complainant is the city of Lakewood, represented by the attorney on behalf of the city, who is seated in the courtroom to your left, appearing down to my right. And Mr. Gunderson, I'm just going to ask you to formally identify yourself for the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Will Gunderson, prosecuting for the city. I am licensed to practice law in the state of Washington. My bar number is 46991.
So the plaintiff in this case is the city of Lakewood. They are appearing here this morning through counsel, or this afternoon through counsel. It also appears that the officer who issued the infraction to Mr. Moore is also present in court in response to the subpoena that was issued for his appearance. It appears that the only individual who has failed to appear for this hearing is the respondent, Sherman Moore. And so at this point in time, with the matter having been on the calendar at 10:30 a.m., it's now 12:04 p.m. Given that Mr. Sherman Moore has not appeared in person for this hearing, pursuant to the rules for infractions in Washington courts, the court will find that Mr. Moore has failed to appear and will enter a finding of committed to each of the 5 infractions. And I believe that concludes our court's calendar for today. So thank you all very much. At this point in time, the court will be at recess.
Understood, Judge.
Oh yeah, I'll do it in the, Yep.
All right. Court is in recess.
So are we continuing or what's? Based off of what grounds of what?
Mr. Moore did not appear.
Sherman Moore is here. I am the man of the Moore, Sherman of the Moore family. I am not the entity in which you speak of. What? What kind of charade show is going on here? So what happens now? I have to file an appeal? Okay. So I'm being railroaded. So the officer never had to show or anything, basically on the basis that so the witness, so the subpoena I never got to cross-examine.
What connects these hearings is not the original traffic issue. It's the decision to reject the legal framework entirely. In both cases, the courts repeatedly gave the defendants a procedural path forward, explain the charge, accept representation, contest evidence, or go to trial. But sovereign citizen ideology changes the focus from defense strategy to identity conflict. The problem is that courts are built around participation, not philosophical agreement. A defendant does not need to believe in the system for the system to keep moving. Once someone starts arguing that the person named in the case is separate from the living human being, or that acknowledging charges creates some kind of contract, the courtroom stops hearing a defense and starts hearing non-compliance. That shift matters because judges are evaluating more than guilt. They are evaluating whether someone understands procedure, follows instructions, and can responsibly participate in the process. That is why both hearings drifted toward warnings about contempt, competency concerns, and failure to appear consequences instead of the underlying traffic allegations themselves. The real risk in sovereign citizen cases is rarely the first citation. It is the accumulation of avoidable consequences that come after refusing ordinary legal options. Small procedural decisions, rejecting counsel, interrupting hearings, refusing direct answers, slowly turn minor cases into larger legal exposure.